Going live.
Going live.
Ooh, fuzzy.
Whoa. Why are you fuzzy? Why are we fuzzy? Technical difficulties. There it goes.
Ooh. That was weird.
Oh, no,
It was like a long pause.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy, what day is it?
It's the second?
Yep.
I think it's the second.
I mean, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
That's we're doing
Yes.
this. It must be Wednesday.
Yes, it must be Wednesday.
Must be.
Because we don't ever deviate from the norm.
Never. Never. So welcome to Goody Tutus as we discuss our year in review.
We're going to try to kick it off right. Get back on track. Wednesdays. Here we are.
Here we are. You can see us and talk to us. I know that's thrilling. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to turn this
Hello.
off.
Are you hot?
I'm already warm.
It's because you're drinking
It's cold. It's cold in the studio. So we
It's
have a
cold
heater on.
here. I saw this thing and I shared it that said we are colder than Anchorage, Alaska today. It was 38 in Anchorage, Alaska, and we're 30.
Crazy.
And
It's
it
crazy.
obviously froze because my kids. I told my daughter that the grass was frozen, and so they went outside and
Stepped
peeled
out.
ice off of the trampoline, and I've been playing with it.
Nice.
They like to call it snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not snow, it's
Maybe
ice,
snow.
but yeah, it's kind of funny. So it's cold.
Cold
We
here.
heated it up in here. So
Cold.
we do want to point out that we made it before morning was over,
Yeah.
but we had to wait a little bit to let the
And we had to let the room warm up because it's too cold in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk about our year. I don't know if this will be interesting to you guys or not, but maybe it will be. If not,
If not,
Move along.
somebody should give us a better idea of what they'd like to hear. It's all you. Tell us
Yeah.
what you want us to talk about.
yeah, I think for us it's nice to recap it, and maybe some other people want to do it too, and we will watch yours just because sometimes the year goes by and we may tend to not realize all that, as a business we accomplished. So it's good to go back and write it down and see all the things that, you accomplished as your business. And then also for us, since we're best friends, we're going to throw in some of the fun things we did too. So
Yeah. It's just because life gets so busy that you forget all the things you did and forget that there was some important things thrown in there.
Yep.
You actually accomplished something. You weren't just busy.
You weren't just busy, because sometimes for us it feels like we're just always busy and we forget, I don't know, the good times. We forget all
Especially after Christmas.
yeah.
You get through those last couple months of the year, you're like, I'm dead.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're just going to go through. We have a list that we're going to try and...
I think that I can't see all of it, so you'll have to.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to remember them.
So we started out by saying that we were going to take the first week of 2018 off.
Like, blocked it
We
off
blocked
on
it
our
off.
calendar.
We said not working, and then when we looked back, we saw that we had all this stuff in
We had
there.
a normal full busy
It
week.
was still a busy week. Yeah, because we basically have a color for each of us, so we can see what we're each working on, and yeah,
And
we both
in
had
Google
stuff.
Calendar, so that way we can both access it and see. It makes it a little bit easier.
So we know if somebody's trying to book something, we can see, no, we're booked. Neither one of us can help you.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty funny to look back and go, "Hey, we were going to take that time off." No, we didn't. We were busy. So yeah, and then we started off the year doing some fun things. We went to the Alamo Draft House, which I don't know if you guys are local, but we have a few of those near us. And they do these like fun nights. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like a theme. They pick a movie and they do little, I guess they give away little trinkets and
have like a special
like
menu.
sometimes there's like trivia, stuff like that. So
Yeah, so we went to Alamo Draft House and we saw 2 movies this year, and if you know us, you know it's like totally our jam because you're supposed to dress up. So we dressed up and saw Clueless. That was the first one.
Yes.
And that was pretty fabulous.
Which that one, because we dressed up, they gave us tickets to go to another one. So that was funny.
Yep, so we saw Harry Potter, the 5th one.
I think so.
Yeah, because that one's my favorite. So we saw that. So yeah, that was a fun thing. We'll talk about donations. We do a lot of donations, and I think that's common in this business.
You have to kind of be careful, though. I mean, you could be doing donations
all day,
every week and not make any money. So you have to be careful and kind of pick and choose what groups you want to donate to.
And then I think it's also good to choose the ones you want to work with and then be consistent with that. So we have Icing Smiles, Operation Shower, Hope Kids, and Cakes for Causes. And Bonnie does more of the Cakes for Causes than I do and Hope Kids, but I think it's one of those things where it's important if you decide to donate to be, like she said, picky about which ones you choose and then be there for them so that when they ask, you can hopefully say yes. Because if you say yes to everyone, then it might, you might not be as consistent. And so that when...
Well, it also gets to where everybody will hear that you're donating and will be asking you for stuff. And not that all causes aren't great, but you kind of want to watch and see where you're... it's kind of like when you donate money. You still want to know where your money's going and make sure that it's actually doing something good. So I think it's good to be choosy and to see, we consistently can pick these places out knowing that what we're doing goes towards something good and bigger and they're actually using it for what they're saying that they're using it for.
Yeah. So, and we're kind of, suckers for anything having to do with kids. So that's why I guess three of the
Cakes for Causes donates. They do. They basically donate treats to nonprofits for all sorts of events, so that they don't have to pay for the treats. So they do a lot of stuff for kids, and then they also do stuff for the military and animal shelters and stuff like that. So
and so Operation Shower is a shower for military families in the area. They do it every single year at what's it called, the TPC?
Yes.
The big golf.
Yeah.
We're obviously huge golf fans.
We're huge golf fans. Yeah,
huge
we're not.
Golf fans.
We kind of wander around a little bit after we drop the stuff off and try to find celebrities.
And then when we don't find
we don't ever find any.
We move on.
We're there like 10 minutes and we're like, okay, gotta go.
Like it's cold because we're always delivering in the morning.
It's real early. It's cold.
Yeah.
Not a lot of action going on.
Yeah.
And it's golf. So if you see any, it's not great.
So we do that in January. It's usually January, February. January this year.
Yeah.
So
and they do it. I think they have one in every state. So if it's something that you're interested in helping out and you're not in Arizona, you can go to Operation Shower and ask around. But they usually look for sort of a planner, designer to work with, and then they obviously need desserts.
So, yep. Let's see what else we.
Who's next?
We got to do some fun stuff for the Cardinals a few times this year. When I went to deliver them one time, I got to go wander around the stadium as they were putting in some turf to try out the turf, so that was really cool.
Obviously also big football fans.
Yes, we know there's a ball and teams. I think my favorite part of football is like the food that goes along with it.
Right?
I do like the sounds. I like to have it on.
I would have to say that football is probably the one game that I don't mind watching.
Yeah. Go Cardinals.
They're
gonna be like, we can't pick them again because they're not super
We
fans.
do like I like football. It's fine. Football's good, but and there's things like golf.
No.
I just couldn't sit there for hours watching golf. Like I would fall over and die from boredom.
My dad turns it on sometimes, and my kids are like, what's this, Papa?
Oh, no.
So, so then a big one. We're going to tell you how many weddings we did this year.
That's funny.
It's super exciting.
Yes. We did a grand total of 67 weddings.
That's a lot of weddings. That's more than one a weekend. And a lot of those ones were combined. We definitely have a wedding season here in Arizona. It really runs from what would you say, the end of September.
Yeah.
Through
at least, October is swamped. October here and March are the busiest wedding months. So it definitely goes. They start not in September and go through
fizzle through
April. But those 2 months are like the big ones. Yeah. And there's not very many. We might have 2 or 3 in the summer, but hardly any weddings. So we kind of get out of wedding mode in the summer, and then they start up again, and we're like, whoa.
Weddings.
Which I think is the opposite
Most
places,
yeah.
their weddings are in the summer.
Yeah. So ours are opposite town over here.
Yeah.
And then we did, we couldn't count all the anniversary cakes. So with our brides, when you decide to book a wedding cake with us, we offer a free 1-year anniversary cake. So that you will hopefully avoid the weird tradition of saving the top tier.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it's important and we want you to have cake on your anniversary, but we make it fresh so that you're not having your old cake.
Yeah. Well, we've had both stories where people, if they save it correctly, it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, it's just as good as when I froze it. But other people, if you're traveling around, moving place to place, they don't wrap it correctly, it's probably real gross.
Yeah.
So
let us make you a fresh one.
We'll just make a new one.
Yeah. So we do those pretty much very consistently with along with however many weddings we did the year before. So those are fun. What else we do? We're looking
Took
at
some
our sign
trips.
over there. Took some trips. Not together, which
we didn't
really
take any
sad.
together trips. I know, because the year before we went to the beach.
And we did the show, so we were gone, at least the two of us.
But. Yeah, the show and then also cake camp.
Oh yeah,
cake camp.
We didn't do any trips together. This was a big fail this year. What?
I don't know what happened. We'll have to plan something next year.
Yeah.
I say we take a trip and go to Universal.
we both have Harry
Sans
Potter
kids
today.
I know. No kids. We're just gonna wander around Universal.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
You'll find us just like waving wands at random spots, and then you'll have to walk by and be like, "There's not a magic spot there." We're like, "We don't care. Just waving."
Everywhere is a magic spot. We're wizards.
We're having non-alcoholic butterbeer and just getting crazy in here.
I know they don't serve alcoholic butterbeer. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Oversight.
Whoops. So let's see. We went to Wine and Design and made a Harry Potter painting.
We did. So there's been 2 things that we've already mentioned that have involved Harry Potter.
Oh, and I started selling Harry Potter paintings on Etsy, and I think I've sold like 16 of them in the last
16 sets
of 4. Yeah,
that's crazy.
So there's been non-stop glitter, because I don't do them here because there's glitter involved. So I do them at home, and my kitchen table is pretty much constantly covered in glitter.
Which means the house is covered in glitter.
Constantly.
If
So
you go
big
in there,
thank you to my parents for getting me a Shark Ion vacuum, the little ground one that goes along, and I pretty much dump glitter every day.
That's funny.
It's fabulous. So, yeah.
So that's fun. Yeah, and what are you using that money for?
Oh, I'm using that to take a trip to Haiti.
What was that?
I feel like that was like a Bob Barker. You'll take a trip to Haiti. Although mine is, I'm going to talk about it a little more maybe today. Maybe. I need to do it. I need to talk about it particularly on my personal information like Facebook and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to Haiti in April with Haitian Christian Ministries, and I am a part of a medical team that is basically bringing medication and doing mobile clinics in kind of like remote villages that don't have any access to healthcare. So what does that have to do with cakes? Nothing. Nothing. But it was a rough year for me in my personal life. So I think sometimes when you have a really rough year, you have to look for ways to move outside yourself and help by, heal by helping. So that's kind of my personal motto this year is I'm going to go try and heal by helping someone else. And I'm sure when I come back, it will be, something that my effect on people there will probably be minimal, but their effect on me, I'm sure will be pretty great. So anyways, yeah, that I'm sure I'll talk about that when I go and when I come back. And yeah, if you want to buy some Harry Potter paintings, go to our Etsy page and it'll support my trip.
Fun.
Yep.
That's fun. All right, what else?
Ooh, the big one.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. The big one that we did this year. So obviously for us, being on Sugar Rush was a big thing that happened. And actually we filmed it in 2016. 17, whatever
yeah,
year it is.
September.
Yeah, so we filmed it the September before, and then it came out in July of 2018.
So basically it fits in 2018. Because you couldn't talk about it before that. It was a secret.
It was a huge secret.
And I just want to say, like, you know, we had a good time. We enjoyed ourselves. We feel like it was a good experience. That was the reason we wanted to go, is to say that we did something hard and big, and we lived to tell about it.
Right, we made it through.
What's funny, though, is that we've gotten, like, casting calls for other things, and we're like, no, that's not a team sport. We're not doing that.
Yeah, we definitely only want to be part of things that we can do together. We're not interested in doing anything by ourselves, just because we are a team and we work as a team, and it's so much more fun. And I feel like either one of us, had we gone on our own to do something, we would have been a hot mess.
Yeah, it would have been a mess. It wouldn't have been as fun. We wouldn't have had, you know, when things are hard and you don't have somebody to talk to, which in that situation, if you're alone, you wouldn't have anybody. So yeah.
So that was.
We don't know if we're gonna do anything like that ever again.
I'm not sure yet.
But we do. We're happy we did it.
It was a really fun experience, and I think the best part for us, honestly, has been the feedback. We are really fortunate with how kind people have been. People reaching out through emails or social media, and it's so funny. Our favorite thing has been like the response of young girls. You know, as two moms who both have teenage girls, it is super important to us that we represented ourselves well, and that we were a positive influence, and that no one could watch it and think,
right.
You know, we wanted people. I don't know. We wanted people to be encouraged by our presence on the show, rather than walk away thinking, "Well, they're snotty."
Right.
So the fact that we have all these little girls reaching out to us, literally from all over the world, it's been amazing. Yeah. Like one little girl from New Zealand was like, "I've watched your show 50 times." It was so cute.
Yeah, it's really cute.
So that's been special.
Yeah. Well, and I was glad. You know, thank you to Sugar Rush for not, because. I think that what we don't realize sometimes is that editing of the show really is what sets the tone. And so sometimes just the way that shows are edited and the things that are said, the way that they splice them together can affect how you come off. Yeah. And so luckily we haven't had any issues.
We were really thankful that they kept to our like integrity as people and as a team, and we felt like they represented us well, you know. And
I think there were things that were missing, you know, but
the show is only so long, and we know we have to share it with the other three teams, so I realize it wasn't a whole inspired Sugar Rush show, but how about that, a whole show where the two of us just run around like chickens? So basically,
that's a show you make
wedding
yourself.
Season in here is what that looks like.
We'll come out with that on our own.
Yeah, we'll do that on our own. We should do like a time lapse with it like up in the corner.
Yeah,
like, and you just see us and we're like.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be funny.
It'd have to be a time lapse.
It would, because it's sometimes they're real long days. Yeah. So, anyways, thank you to everyone who watched us on Sugar Rush and who was kind. Spoiler alert, if you didn't watch it yet, we didn't win. And lots of people have asked about how we feel about that. And honestly, we are just fine with that. Yeah. I mean, money's cool, but, you know, the other team, they had great stuff. They were fun. They were a little bit more serious than we were and competitive than we were. So,
and I think that's the best thing too, is that we've gotten to know everybody from the show, and now we're friends and we get to talk, and so that's fun, because you never know how you're going to meet people and how you're going to be intertwined in some way. So you never know what's going to come of it.
Yeah, and being on these shows and stuff, you know. You walk in wanting to win so bad, and we did want to win, but we mostly wanted to have a good time.
We wanted to do our best and not look like fools. That's
and
what
we
wanted
also
to do.
Really wanted to get to the end. Like, it was really important for us to make all three, you know, to get to all three.
Yeah. You spend so much time planning and getting ready and thinking about what you want to do that you actually want to execute it.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you get to do all three, that was really what we were like, if we could just make it to the end. And then when it was, the middle of the night, and we're like, we just want it to be done because it was a really long day.
Yeah, I was really afraid that if they had actually said that we won, that I would have had no expression anyways because I was so tired. So I would have just
been like, can you do that again?
I know. They're like, retake, try again.
Jump up and
we
down
need you to
something.
pretend you're excited.
So we were pretty sleepy at that point.
Yeah, it was just a long day, and it's not just being on your feet and working all day.
Right.
It's also like knowing that you have to be on,
Right. Yeah, but everyone was really nice to us on the show.
Yeah, I thought the show was, because we've heard some stories about other shows.
Yeah,
and
horror stories.
sad because we have friends who've had a hard time on shows, and it makes you cautious about wanting to go on any shows.
Yeah. So we will say that if any friends are going to do, if any friends are going to go do Sugar Rush, we feel like you're in a good place for that because we had a good time.
I felt like they weren't trying to cause drama. They weren't trying to get us to say a whole lot of
nonsense
stuff.
No, they were just real encouraging and supportive.
And they mostly just watched.
Yeah.
And
let us do our thing.
If stuff started to kind of look like it was going to go wrong, they'd run over and try to
like a scurry.
try to film it closer, but they weren't trying to cause those issues. Nobody asked us to burn anything or drop anything or break anything.
Yeah,
so.
that was another thing, being in this industry, we know kind of the realities of reality television a little bit when it comes to food. And what you saw in Sugar Rush was exactly how it happened. We didn't get to make a bunch of stuff ahead of time. We didn't get to... we saw our kitchens and started 15 minutes later. Like it was like a rush was a appropriate name for the show.
They stuck to it.
Yeah. And the time we really did save that extra time, and that was what helped us make our big cake. And so, anyways, Sugar Rush, it was cool. We had a good time. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for encouraging us. Thanks for, as it's funny that it actually is. I almost feel like we won more because of all the people who watched and said, we wish you would have won, or I really liked yours. That's encouraging to us. I don't know. Second place is still second place, but it was encouraging to know that a lot of people really liked our design too. So we didn't feel like losers is what I'm trying to say. Technically we were, but I didn't feel like a loser.
No, it felt good. It felt like we accomplished something big, and that's what we wanted, and had fun with it. So
yeah. So that was a good time.
All right, moving on.
What else did we do? Some other big events we did this year. So we did Cool Off in Style, which we've done the past. What did we decide? Was it like 7 years? 7 or 8 years?
Yeah. So Cool Off in Style is this huge networking event, and it was started by Dave at Pour Master. So it's a local thing, and he started it. And actually, he started it. I think it was 25 years.
Yeah.
So last year was 26. So technically, last year was not his anymore. He had kind of stopped doing it the year before because he was like 25 years done. But it's basically a huge networking event, so it's like all the businesses related to weddings and events in Arizona are invited, and there are years that it's been like how many people? Like 600 or 700. Was there like a 900 year?
Oh yeah.
So there's
the year.
Yeah,
the
there's
party year.
huge crowds, and he goes all out, and people donate the food and the entertainment, and so we have been doing it for 7 years, I think we decided.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he isn't doing it anymore, but somebody else took it over, so we did do it last year because we had time. We're not sure we're going to be able to do it this year because we have other goals this year. We're kind of moving in different directions, but that was fun.
Fun party. We did the Sweets Festival. It was called S'mores Sweets Festival, and we did that out here in Queen Creek. And we will, just because we want to keep this real, we will tell you it was not our favorite. It was just a little chaotic, and there was some confusion about the way things were sold. So I think they're trying to adjust that for the next one that's in Gilbert. Is it next month? I don't know.
I don't know when it is.
But we decided not to be a part of that one again. Mostly schedule things, and we hope they have figured some glitches out.
Right. It's just one of those things where if you start something new, and you're not really sure how to do it, you can kind of mess it up. So it's kind of one of those things where you need to take on some advisors or people who've done, because then people don't want to come back. Because if things are not, we aren't a huge business, so if we put out a bunch of money to do an event and then it doesn't even pay off, like you get back what you put in,
money,
then you can't do it again.
Yeah.
So it's a good, the idea of it, like a whole event centered around sweets sounds pretty cool. And that's why we tried it.
And because it was in Queen Creek, and we are in Queen Creek, and we
do things in Queen Creek and Gilbert. So if we would have been like super awesome, we'd have been there. But it's just wasn't our thing.
It was a learning event.
We like to do things that go well, which you always run across things that don't. It just depends on your output. What is your output? Did you put so much time and effort and money into it, and then not get it back? You're just not going to want to do it again.
Yeah, and same with people who are in the food industry. Ours is a little bit different than, say, like someone who makes signs or a craft. Like what we make for the event, if it doesn't sell, we eat the product. Right, we eat the product. Yeah. So it's a lot. I feel like it's really difficult for food people because if you have to judge and you have to guess and you have to hope that your items sell, and if they don't, then you waste. So we don't. Yeah, but we did take part in 2 local markets in December, which one of them we really enjoyed and we'll hope to do again next year. We find that the Gilbert Queen Creek area is kind of like where our people are, so we really love doing things in this area, and so that was a different thing for us. It's fun.
We don't do a ton of markets, so last year we really didn't do any of them
until December. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like even the year before.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't do a whole lot, but we do them occasionally, and it's kind of fun because we don't have a storefront right now. So it's nice to be able to interact with people as they're buying your stuff and talk to everybody and get to know new people. So that's kind of fun. And then we had people that came that had watched the show. And so that was fun because they come up just to talk to us about the show.
Yeah, or take some pictures.
Buy something. Yeah.
It was cute.
That was cute.
So yeah.
What else? Ooh.
We joined Bunko!
Which may not be a big deal to some people, but...
Right, you may think that's silly, but for us to take one night a month where we were not going to work and not going to think about work things and to do something fun together.
Yeah. And we have a good group of women that we like to hang out with, and we pray before we eat dinner.
We have a nice time.
Then we sit and play Bunko and just enjoy ourselves.
Yep, we have a nice group, and there's, it's a positive thing. So for us, if we're going to take time and commit to something, we want it to be something that like lifts our spirits, lifts our day, something that we're going to look forward to, and it's not going to be...
Well, and it's one of those things that I think sometimes we're so busy that we're like, oh my gosh, we have something to do this. We forgot we had Bunko or whatever, But once we go, we're happy we went. We took the night off.
We laugh a lot.
Yeah.
So, that's definitely a good thing for us that we did this year, and we will continue doing, just because it's really important to take a little bit of time, and we both have 3 kids, and so sometimes it's hard to justify a night away doing something that's just for us. Right. So, it's not like we never do things, but most of the time, like when the 2 of us go out to dinner or we're doing something, it's usually at least somewhat work involved. We're talking about things we have to do. We're making plans. Like we had our Christmas dinner last night and talked about work. Yeah. So taking that time to do something, the 2 of us, that's just fun and doesn't have to do with kids is, I think it's important. Yeah. And we have a good time.
So we try to document that sometimes. That's why you see silly pictures of us going to do dinner or whatever, because it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal. So I think the biggest change we made this year, as opposed to previous years, were implementing classes. So if you've followed us for any time, that we have offered some classes over the last couple of years. But this year we really focused on them and made them a high priority.
Yeah.
And took it from being something where we kind of occasionally did classes over at Studio 223 to something where we are doing classes every single month, sometimes more than once.
Yeah.
Added in some other locations, which was fun.
Yeah. We started going to East Valley Cake Decorating Supply. I think that's the whole official name. So we had consistent classes all year long, starting in January, and then in October, November, and December, we had 2, sometimes 3 or 4 classes a month.
Yeah.
So, and they were selling out, so
yeah,
somebody likes us.
So we're really glad that people are enjoying
Yeah.
our cookie classes. I think the funnest part is seeing people that like are coming back and taking it a few times.
Yeah.
That's really fun because that tells us that you're having a good time. These are not like serious decorating classes. These are, we want to teach you some things, but mostly we want you to have fun. So
they're more of like and there are people that come trying to learn, and then they've started doing cookies on their own, but most of the people that come are doing it for like a mom's night out.
Yeah, they have no experience doing
just
cookies.
coming to have fun, kind of like you would anything else, a painting class or a sign class, just to get away and do something fun, and they get to take some cookies home to eat.
Yep. So that's been really fun. We did 2 cake classes, which, you know, for us, we kind of feel like we have cookie classes so streamlined, but cake classes are fun, but they're a
little bit more work.
Yeah, a little bit different.
And people aren't used to seeing us do cake classes, so they weren't quite as big as the cookies.
Ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do a couple maybe this year. We'll see what happens, but we also have had some requests for a more intermediate cookie classes, so we're kind of putting those together too. So
So if there's something you want to learn, let us know. Maybe we'll put it in a class. Local people. If you're not local, I mean, I guess it'd be super fun. I think one of the things that we would like to do more moving forward is a little bit of travel with our classes to events or things like that.
And we've talked before about doing online stuff, but the time when we came up with the ideas for the online stuff, then wedding season started and holidays started, and we just couldn't get it together. So hopefully this year
we're gonna get it together,
because once it's all set up and ready to go, it'll be
cool.
Much.
Yeah,
it'll be
really cool. So we're excited for that. Hi. So that was mainly it. Tons of cookie classes, couple cake classes, and
fitting in some fun times.
We finished off the year strong, going ice skating at Schnepp Farms with our kids. And that was the last, big event we did before the holidays. So,
and then the holidays came and they went, and we've been relaxing.
I think this is probably the 1 week a year where we really...
Yeah. Between Christmas and New Year's is really...
Like all those memes that are out saying, like, what day is it? Where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing?
It totally felt like that, yeah. And the one thing that we did say is that we usually have a wedding or two on New Year's or New Year's Eve, and we didn't this year. So that was actually kind of nice.
It was super nice, because the last, I don't even know how many years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always had deliveries on those nights, and it was great not to have to drive far and do all
just
that
be able
stuff.
to stay in
play
bed.
games, hang out with my kids.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks everyone. Hi. So thanks everyone for hopping on. I know this one was kind of long. We're gonna post it on YouTube in case anyone wants to see our ramblings.
Yeah, we'll share. It'll be there if you just came in. We'll share it so you can watch it again.
Yeah. So again, we
talked about Sugar Rush.
We talked about Sugar Rush. We talked about just kind of all the things we did this year. So
yep. And then being consistent. We'll be back next week.
Wednesday. We might have
maybe we'll think of a better
ponytails.
Topic. Ponytails. What?
Yeah, we're gonna be working. I'm back to work next week. So
bun.
We're gonna do a hair show now. Exciting.
That's funny. We try to do our videos before we start working, so then we can throw our hair out.
That's true.
Yeah. Because ponytails, I don't look good in ponytails. It's not great.
It's not great.
So if you have any questions or anything or topics you'd like us to talk about, let us know.
We're making lists of things we want to talk about for next year. But mostly thank you to everyone who supported our business this year. We have been really blessed by so many people who order from us year after year, or new people that found us and, you know, wanted us to be a part of their events. We're really thankful for that.
Yeah. We love all of our clients.
You make this happen. Without you, there would be no Inspired Sugar.
We'd be making stuff. We'd be 500 pounds because we'd have to eat it all.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Thanks for being a part of our year. It was a great one, but also full of lots of challenges, and we're going to look forward to next year and making it great.
I'm always excited for a new year.
Yeah.
New stuff, new plans. Feels like you've washed away some stuff and you're going to start over.
Yes. Welcome to the new year.
Yes. So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks for watching.
All right.
See you next week.
Bye, friends.